Joining us from South Dakota State, head men's basketball coach Eric Henderson, student athletes Baylor, Scheierman, and Zeke, Mayo. Format will be the same. We'll have potential questions from Maine. We're also on Zoom, so you could get a Zoom question. We'll do an opening statement from the coach, and then we'll open it up to questions to the student athletes. Before you ask your question, please state your name and affiliation. Raise your hand, and we'll get the mic to you. Go ahead with your opening statement, Coach.
Well, what a day for Division I basketball in the state of South Dakota. I'll tell you that much. The crowd, the atmosphere was electric. And as far as our team, you know, I thought really defensively, especially in that first half, we were pretty locked in and we made it pretty hard for them to score. And when we were getting stops, we were able to play with some pace offensively. And our guys were terrific. They made unselfish plays, shared the basketball, and like they've done all year. So we're certainly happy of tonight's outcome, but we're also really, really looking forward to tomorrow.
Go ahead with questions for the student athletes.
Matt Zimmer, Argus leader. Baylor first half offense. Can you guys play any better than that?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. You know, we've had some good, offensive halves so far this season, and we're definitely locked in. And we just, took what they were giving us, and we took good shots. And I think that's why, we shot so well, because we're a pretty efficient, pretty electric offensive team, and especially when we're getting the shots that we want to get, we're pretty dangerous on the offensive. Yeah, that was huge, and got a little loose in the second half with turnovers. But one turnover in the first half, we'll definitely take that.
This question comes from Tim Hill, the Reaching the Summit podcast via Zoom. This is for Zeke. You don't play like a freshman. Where does that calmness and composure come from?
I think it's just experience. I got, early opportunities early in the year. Coaches put trust in me. So I think it's just my job, like I said, in the past, just to take those opportunities, take advantage of them. And that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Jacob von Bergen, Rabbit Rundown. Zeke, was this kind of the atmosphere you envisioned when you came to SDSU? This is the first time you've obviously played in this tournament. Was this kind of what you were expecting when you got recruited here, or what? Speak to this environment.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've had these kind of games at Frost alone. So, but I mean, obviously this crowd is a lot more bigger. But yeah, I mean, in the past for last year, it wasn't really, they didn't really have crowds, but just knowing that these guys, they're a great program, and they obviously bring out a great community, and the support system is amazing.
Sean Bauer, Kello TV, Baylor. Last year this was the game that you guys got, beat at the buzzer. Now that you're on the flip side of that result, going to championship, I guess, how does that feel? What's it mean for you guys?
It feels pretty good, not to be going home at this point and, playing another day. And, like Coach Hendo said, we were excited, and we're happy with how we played tonight. But now it's, turning the page and getting ready for tomorrow.
Tanner Castor, Kelloland Sports. Baylor, you seem to play at your own pace. Growing up, did you model your game after anyone?
Well, I'd say Pistol Pete was the main one growing up. I'm not sure what kind of pace he played at, but not really. And, honestly, it wasn't really till I got to, college where, the coaching staff here was just tremendous working with me, just teaching me more about the game that I didn't even know. And, pace. Playing at your own pace, you don't have to be the quickest, the strongest, the fastest. But if you get to your spots and you know where people are on the court, good things are going to happen.
This question comes from Tim Hill, the Reaching the Summit podcast. This is for Baylor. Being a score facilitator, is this a dream situation for you to play with so much open space and so many teammates that you can dish to?
Yeah, absolutely. The coaches have a lot of trust and put a lot of trust in me. And, I'm grateful for that. And I play with great teammates who are great players themselves. And, I wouldn't have, the success I have personally if it wasn't for the team, 100%.
Zach Borg from Dakota News Now. For both of you guys, obviously tomorrow's everything you've been working for the last year plus. How do you kind of keep it all in check? I know Baylor, you said one game at a time. If this is the big one, how do you guys keep it all in check and win one more?
Well, I feel like you got to approach it kind of like, you've approached it all year. Obviously, it is a bigger game with, the whole season, building up to this one game, and this is it. But you kind of have to remain composed, and, you can't not do what got you to this point.
Our last question right up here.
Michael McClure, Argus leader, Baylor. Just from watching South Dakota on film twice, playing them 3 times, have you noticed, any improvements from them throughout the year? Have you noticed anything?
Yeah, they're a great team, and Coach Lee does a great job with them. They were playing really hot. These last 6-7 games, I think coming tonight they won 6 out of the last 7 or whatnot. They really found their stride, and they were playing really well. And I have nothing but respect for those guys.
Thanks, fellas. You can head back to the locker room.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead with questions for Coach.
Eric, you commented on a little bit in your opening statement, just elaborate a little more. I mean, how impressive was that first half? How would you assess it?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot last night and we talked a lot this morning with our team about being the tougher team and being physical, limit them to one shot and really having discipline on our routes and understanding personnel. And I mean, the guys were really locked in, especially on the defensive end. I thought the energy they played with was terrific. And then when we can get stops and we don't have to take the ball out of the net, it gives us a little bit more pace on the offensive end. We're able to get paint touches a little quicker, and usually good things happen when we do that. And offensively, I mean, I think Baylor said it too. I thought we took really good shots in the first half, and when we do that, we can score. We can score a lot of points.
And there have been games in this building where your team at times looked like maybe the crowd had a negative effect on them, that they squeezed the ball a little too tight, looked stressed out. Maybe even last night or Saturday night a little bit. Tonight, I mean, it looked like they really fed off the crowd. Did you do something different? Did you see anything different? Because it seemed like you thrived off that from the get-go.
We talk a lot about in our programs freedom and confidence, and we believe in our guys. When you work your tail off, and I know everybody works hard, so I'm not saying we're the hardest workers or anything like that, but they put so much time in and they believe in each other. And it's our philosophy to let them play confident and let them play free and let them hoop. And I think it's an enjoyable way to play. I think when you get in situations like this, then hopefully you're not as tight. And obviously the crowd was terrific, and we're excited for tomorrow.
But the crowd was terrific Saturday too.
Yeah, not really, to be honest with you. I thought we were a little bit more engaged defensively, especially. And when we're engaged on that end of the floor, I mean, we're a good basketball team when we do that.
This question comes from Tim Hill of the Reaching the Summit podcast via Zoom. You have 5-6 guys that can score 20 points any given night, but yet your guys continuously play unselfish. How do you balance that so well as a coach?
Well, I mean, it's our guys. I mean, it's the selfless attitude of our players at the end of the day. And they celebrate each other's successes more than their own. And when you have a group like that, it really can be special. And that's what we have right now. And so it's not anything I'm doing. It's not anything our staff's doing. It's our players. It's our players believing in each other. And if somebody is feeling good, we feel like we have an advantage somewhere, we're not afraid to give it to them or take advantage of that spot. So it's just the selflessness of our players.
Obviously, tomorrow is the night that every college player works for in mid-major basketball. The way they played tonight, they really thrived. I mean, you could tell they enjoyed it. They had fun. How much do you just want them to go out and have that attitude and play that way tomorrow? Because some other teams would maybe tense up with everything on the line, and certainly this one didn't tonight.
That's how we kind of play all year, to be honest with you, Zach, and then that's where that confidence and freedom comes, and so obviously we understand what's at stake. We're not negligent to any of that stuff. You know what I mean? But you can't change who you are in a day. And we don't want to change who we are at the end of the day either. So that's the way we'll approach it. That's the way we've approached every single game. We're going to have some fun. We're going to work our tail off. We're going to play unselfish.
Last question right here.
Coach, when you were answering your first question, you used the term staying disciplined on your routes. I've heard that in football, but what did you mean by that?
Yeah, obviously, even all players have strengths, right? And, we want to take away some things from certain players. And so, whether it's coming off a double staggered, are we going to chase that for a shooter? Are we going to whip it at the last second if it's maybe a guy that's looking to get downhill? Same thing with the flex cut. Are we going to go over? Or are we going to go under? And it kind of depends on that player's strength. So that's kind of what I mean by that. And our guys are, they were very, very disciplined in that area tonight.